Call the Town of Fuquay-Varina Planning Board to order. We will, because of COVID concerns, we will skip the introductory matter and go right to our planning director explaining the COVID protocols for us.
Thank you. All attendees that have joined the meeting tonight have joined muted. If you wish to speak during the meeting, you will need to notify staff you wish to speak. If you are joining the meeting online and wish to speak, please press the raise hand button. If you are joining the meeting via phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. After you've raised your hand, staff will recognize you to speak by calling out your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number. You will be unmuted at this time and allowed to speak. Once you have finished speaking, you will be muted for the remainder of the meeting. If you wish to speak again, you will need to raise your hand again.
Thank you. We'll go on to item 2A, approval of the minutes. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approval of the minutes from the November 16th, 2020 planning board meeting. The December meeting was canceled. Has everybody had a chance to review it? And if there are any changes or corrections, and if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move they be approved as written.
A motion and
Second.
a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. The minutes are approved. We do not have any items tabled from previous meetings, so we'll go right on to item 4, which is our public hearings. And a blanket statement. Public hearings are a time for petitioners to present requests and for the public to state their concerns and voice opinions in favor of or in opposition to those requests. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium, sign in on the sheet provided, state your name and address for the record before speaking in regards to the request. Item 4A is zoning plan amendment. And this is Wilburn Properties LLC, 210 and 0 Coley Farm Road and 0 Longfellow Street, pins 0656583491, 0656594461, and 0656690567. This is REZ 2020-17. This item has requested to be postponed. Further information on that will be provided by staff, and then we'll entertain a motion to.
Thank you. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to postpone the public hearing to the February 15th, 2021 Planning Board meeting for a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 36.52 acres located at 210 and 0 Coley Farm Road and 0 Longfellow Street from the residential agricultural RA and residential low density RLD zoning districts to the residential mixed use RMU, neighborhood mixed use NMU, and urban mixed use UMU zoning districts. Since the public hearing will not be open, the request will be re-advertised and no motion is needed, no action is needed.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we'll go on to item 4B. I believe we need a motion.
Yeah, I need to request recusal from item 4B.
Have a motion to. Okay. Got a motion and a second?
Who made the motion?
I'll make a
Oh.
motion to recuse Andy.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you are currently recused from this item. Item 4B, zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment, Preserve at Holland LLC, for 804, 806, 808, 820, 0, and 0 Holland Road, pins 06664228289, 066428465, 066428912, 066439015, 066523374, and 066523886. This is REZ 2020-18. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 29.67 acres located at 804, 806, 808, 820, 0, and 0 Holland Road from residential agricultural RA and residential low density RLD zoning districts to the residential low density conditional zoning district RLD CZD The corresponding land use plan amendment at 808 Holland Road, pin 066439015, from rural residential to mixed density residential MDR. Further information will be provided by staff.
Thank you. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The subject properties total 29.67 acres and are located in the town's extraterritorial jurisdiction, with the exception of 808 Holland Road, which is located in the town's corporate limits. The properties are subject to annexation. However, an annexation petition has not been submitted at this time. These properties are currently a mix of uses, primarily single-family homes with farmland and undeveloped forested areas. The zoning map amendment petition requests approval of the residential low-density conditional zoning district, which is intended to permit proposed residential development and existing single-family detached dwelling, lot, and units in established neighborhoods to provide for low-density urban residential, stick-built, or modular unit zoning lot development. The petitioners requested the following permitted use conditions be made applicable to the subject properties: single-family detached homes only. The petitioner has requested the following site-specific conditions be made applicable to the subject properties: 1, maximum density of 2 dwelling units per acre; 2, minimum 15 or 20-foot type B perimeter buffer along parent property boundary as indicated on the landscape plan; 3, site shall be stage graded. Mass grading will not be permitted. Stage grading is defined by the movement of earth by mechanical means to alter the gross topographic features, to include elevation and slope, in preparation for construction of infrastructure features, and no more than 30 feet from the right-of-way solely for the installation of infrastructure and providing access to a developable lot with the exception of additional berms for landscaping, drainage swales, and borrow pits. Grading completed after the plat is recorded shall be considered individual lot grading and subject to compliance with the Town of Fuquay-Varina land development ordinances. 4, all roadway drainage pipes shall have decorative head walls. All lots shall have decorative head walls for driveway pipes. Head walls shall be concrete with a masonry veneer or stone facade. 5, vinyl siding is not permitted. Vinyl windows, decorative elements, and trim is permitted. 6, no unit shall be constructed with an exterior elevation or color palette that is identical to the unit on either side or directly across the street. A varied color palette shall be utilized on homes throughout the subdivision to include a minimum of 3 color families for siding and shall include varied trim, shutter, and accent colors, complementing the siding color. All homes will minimally include 1x4 wrapped windows and doors on all 4 sides throughout the community. 7, no unit on either side or directly across the street shall have the same roof line. 8, all homes shall have a 2-car garage minimum. Garage doors shall contain windows, decorative details, and/or carriage-style adornments. 9, all windows on a side elevation shall have decorative trim, shutters, or shall be a bay window. 10, front porches, when provided, shall be at least 6 feet deep with decorative posts and include a minimum of 24-inch massing at the base constructed of masonry material. All homes shall have a covered entry or front porch. 11, each unit shall have a front door with a minimum of 25% glazing, transom, and/or door side lights. 12, eaves shall project at least 12 inches from the wall of the structure. 13, all homes will be constructed on 40-inch crawl space foundations minimally. The applicant's vision for the overall quality and preservation of architectural diversity will be upheld by the commitment and usage of 4 architectural design themes: modern farm, transitional, cottage craftsman, and timeless designs. In addition, the applicant will commit to the use of at least 6 of the following design features or building materials on all homes: dormers, hip roof, primed fiber cement cladding, allowing diversity in color and appearance, brick veneers, painted brick veneers, stone veneers, metal roofing, architectural shingles, screen porches, 3rd-car garages, side-load garages, shutters, stained or painted semi-divided lights, front doors, Number 14, the visible side of a home on a corner lot facing the public street or rear facade visible from a public right-of-way shall contain at least 2 decorative elements such as, but not limited to, the following elements: windows, bay window, recessed window, decorative window, trim around the windows, wraparound porch or side porch, enclosed porch, 2 or more building materials, decorative brick and stone, decorative trim, decorative shake, decorative air vents on gable, decorative cornice, column, portico, balcony. Surrounding properties are a mix of residential, agricultural, and undeveloped forest. Existing properties on all sides of the property are single-family residential and agricultural uses. The 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan calls for the mixed-density residential and rural residential classifications at the subject properties. Although the requested zoning district is not consistent with one of the 2 2035 LUP classifications, the petitioner has included a land use plan amendment and this zoning map petition, which will be described later in this report. Public water and sewer are available to serve the subject properties and will be installed with future development. The subject properties are located along and have access to Holland Road, which is classified as a 70-foot right-of-way by the 2035 Community Transportation Plan. This street is identified as a 2-lane roadway with a sidewalk and side path with a carrying capacity of 12,400 average daily trips. 2018 NCDOT traffic counts indicate an average daily trip count of 2,900. The petitioner held the neighborhood meeting on December 8, 2020 via the online conference application Zoom. The meeting report is attached and the town staff takes no position as to its content. The 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan calls for the mixed-density residential and rural residential classifications at the subject properties. The land use plan classifies mixed-density residential as compatible with the proposed zoning district, but rural residential is not due to its lower density requirements. Therefore, the petitioner has proposed a land use plan amendment from rural residential to mixed density residential on pin 0666439015. This amendment supports the land use plan's recommendation CF1, invest in existing growth areas, which encourages the extension of utilities and growth of development in areas that are already in the growth process to maximize effectiveness. As such, the requested land use plan amendment is consistent with the 2035 land use plan and its vision. The land use plan amendment, if approved, would allow for the site to be developed more consistently and appropriately as it relates to the proposed use and surrounding area. Staff recommends approval of the proposed zoning map amendment with the corresponding land use plan amendment. It is consistent with the 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan and is reasonable and in the public's best interest for the following reasons. Although the requested zoning map amendment is not consistent with the 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan classification of rural residential, the petitioner has opted to request a change of the land use plan to mixed density residential, which is more appropriate to the surrounding use, proposed use, and location. The requested zoning map amendment is consistent with the 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan's recommendation, CF1, investing existing growth areas. And the requesting zoning map amendment would better conform to the surrounding uses and provide the ability to develop the property for its proposed use. I am available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I do have one. The landscape plan is added as a part of the conditions, right?
It is. It's included as Exhibit A.
Well, one of the things that concerns me, just to get some clarification, there are sections that we're rezoning that are listed on the landscape plan as area not part of subdivision. There are at least two areas that I could see, but the one that jumps out is the one that can the little connecting lot to Holland Road. What's the meaning behind that, and how does that affect our zoning? Is that area, it would be included in the zoning, but the fact that as part of the zoning, this is considered not part of the subdivision, what is it then part of if it's not?
So it is being excluded from the subdivision. So they will do a recombination subdivision prior to, that will not be part of the submitted subdivision.
Okay, so, but it will get rezoned tonight.
Mhm.
So this section will be rezoned and be under the same requirements as basically all the conditions would apply to this that apply to the rest of the subdivision. Is that correct?
Let me check the survey map. I believe that is correct.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of confused that
Mhm.
it's not,
Being excluded from the rezoning.
it's being, why are we, I mean, it may be that they want it rezoned, and I get that. I just, these conditions would then have to apply to
Mhm.
this, but if it sits out there all by itself, some of these conditions may be difficult to meet. At a late, I assume that it's going to get developed at a later date, because it's not.
Well, I believe the one, so of the two areas, there's a little stretch that's on the western property side. I believe that is going to be absorbed into the adjacent lot that already
Okay.
has an existing house. And then the piece on Holland Road will just become a single lot. So I guess technically they would have to abide by all the architectural requirements that this subdivision is.
Yeah, I would just, I'm used to seeing this where we actually just rezone what's in the subdivision and either have a separate zoning for that or have a different set of or it's just excluded. So that's just to be clear that all these conditions and this full zoning would also apply to that stretch that is listed as not being in the subdivision, but the zoning will apply.
Right. The survey map does include the whole property.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I understand that, and I hope there's a.
On that same note, if the adjacent property absorbs that piece, how is the zoning impacted for the adjacent property now if it's absorbed and now you have two different zonings?
There's split zoning on the property.
Okay.
Well, when they do that absorption, they'll probably just get it rezoned
They may.
or they'll abide.
Or if there's an existing house on the property, it may never really come into.
Yeah, one of the things that jumped out to me is the fact, because they're cutting this off from the subdivision, they don't have to do the frontage improvements. And so what they're doing is essentially kind of dumping those frontage improvements for that section of the property onto that piece of property that's going to sit there with they have to do the frontage themselves when they get to it. So because
Or if it's developed as a single house, it won't be required to.
yeah. So this is where I get concerned about. These are the kind of things where there are loopholes in our ordinances that allow sections that should be improved from end to end. I mean, ideally, we'd like it to be improved end to end. But in this case, we're going to have holes in there. And the point that I'll make is that if a single family home goes in there and then the existing home, I don't know what its condition and how long it's going to stay there, but assuming it's going to stay there, then it is put upon the town to actually match those improvements so that we don't have gaps in our infrastructure, sidewalks and roads and curb and gutter and other improvements that Holland Road specifically would need, because none of that exists today along that stretch. Okay. So that's just, it'd be nice if we didn't have those kind of loopholes or could discuss that with the developers to, fill those in. These are going to obviously be some very high-end homes. So hopefully they would have been able to, maybe support the town a little bit in getting some infrastructure put in. But okay, that being said, any other questions or concerns for staff before we open up the public hearing?
Ed, this is kind of an unrelated thing, but Jim has actually showed up. He's outside. Needs somebody to let him in. I don't know how we
I can
accomplish
let him
that.
Okay.
I'm not sure that public hearing's proper for that,
But
but
that's fine.
I'm not
Thank
sure how
you.
else to do it.
Yep, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak in favor of this zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
Yes, we've got several hands raised. Don Curry, please mute your mic.
Hey there, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Don, we can't.
Hello?
John, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? I'm unmuted. Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello?
There we go. Okay,
Hey, can you hear me?
yes, please state your name and address for the record and state your position.
Okay, great. Thank you. My name's Don Curry. I'm with Curry Engineering and speaking in favor on behalf of the applicant. Preserve at Holland LLC. My address is 205 South Fuquay Avenue here in Fuquay-Varina. I'd just like to say thank you to staff for the presentation. It was very helpful and thorough. And this is we're looking forward to this development. We appreciate your consideration, planning board of this rezoning. We think it's going to be a great subdivision, well received by the public, we feel. And this is really a custom home type of subdivision. We feel like this part of Fuquay is ready for, and we're excited about it. This is something that we're envisioning similar to a Mill Ridge or Old Waverly. So it's going to be nice homes, and we're excited about it. We have had a neighborhood meeting. We've had subsequent conversations with several neighbors via email, as well as a face-to-face meeting with several of the neighbors in the Morgan Creek subdivision, just to talk through some concerns that they might have with an adjacent subdivision. So we walked through that with them, talked about some drainage concerns that they might have. So we're going to work hard to address those when it comes time for the design of the subdivision itself. And we're keeping in close contact with those neighbors. And of course, our door's always open to answer questions and work through those issues throughout the design process. So we've made ourselves available to them. I did want to address just one of the comments that you had, Ed, about that additional lot. Just with the geometry of that, it really doesn't make sense to add impervious and additional environmental impacts by putting a road through that little stub, that finger. So it made more sense to have that as a separate lot that fronts Holland Road itself. So that's really why that looks that way. It's not meant to take advantage of any loopholes or anything like that. It will still be part of the overall development. It will have access to water and sewer and be annexed into the town like the rest of the property. So I hope that helps clarify that a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
I'm available for any questions that you might have. But I just want to say thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of this zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
Yes, sir. We have two more hands raised.
Okay.
Dave, please unmute your mic and go ahead and speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
This is Dave Bondergathen. I'm a resident in Morgan Creek, and my property backs up to this new subdivision. I'm at 1157 Crystal Water Drive, and I have a question. I am in favor of the subdivision. Those neighborhood meetings have been excellent. I do have a question on the lot that you guys were talking about at the beginning of the meeting. Which lot is that on Holland Road, 808 or 810?
Yeah, this unfortunately the public hearing is not a time for question and answer. But you can contact the planning director and maybe we might be able to get an answer after the public hearing.
That's fine.
Did you have any other Any other comments?
Not this time, no. I'll mute back.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of this zoning plan amendment and land use plan amendment?
Yes, we got a couple more hands raised. Showing up as test on our side. Please unmute your mic.
Yes, my name is Powell Fisher. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
I live at 803 Holland Road. And I just wanted to state for the record that I never got any notice of any meetings. I'm right across the street from this development. So I don't know, except for what I've learned here tonight about it. Is there any plans to improve Holland Road?
Again, this is a public hearing. It's not a question and answer time. The staff will be glad to answer the questions that they can for you if you want to contact them for this. I do have a concern though. 803. You said your address was 803 Holland.
That's correct.
If we'll take for action to validate that an attempt was made to communicate this.
Yeah, we'll follow.
Thank you. So we will follow up. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak in favor?
We have one more hand raised.
Okay.
Sherry Medlin, please unmute your mic.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Great. My name is Sherry Medlin and I live at 802 Holland Road. So I think we are one of the properties on the that adjoins it on the western side. And we do want to speak in favor of it. You know, we're really excited about the subdivision that's, you know, as excited as we can be for a subdivision to go in next to us, but we really like the layout. And I think they've put a lot of thought into the layout and design of the subdivision to just continue with the same appeal that is up and down all of Holland Road. So, you know, we are very much in support of this design and this proposal. My only comment would be, and I have talked with Don a little bit about this, is just the buffering that runs down the side that's adjacent to our property. So, you know, he and I have talked about that at length before, and I know that they will continue to work through that. I just want to make sure that that is put into the permit as one of the conditionals, is the privacy and the landscape berms that go down that side next to 802.
Okay. Any other comments? Was that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have anybody else in favor?
We've got one more hand that just came up. Pat Curry, please unmute your mic. Pat, please unmute your mic.
We can't hear you.
They're not, their mic's still muted. I mean,
Okay. They're not able to unmute themselves?
yeah.
Okay, we'll ask for opposition and then, does anyone wish to speak in opposition to this zoning plan amendment and land use plan amendment? Anyone wish to speak in opposition?
Got a hand raised.
Okay,
I didn't catch the gentleman's name last time, but it's showing up as test. Please unmute your mic.
Again, my name is Powell, Powell Fisher, Fisher. I'm at 803 Holland Road.
yeah,
And
excuse me, but you already had an opportunity to speak in the public hearing. The requirement, you only get one opportunity to make your comments. I apologize.
No problem.
But,
I didn't
you-
understand that.
Yeah, I apologize, but yeah, for a public hearing, you get one bite at the apple. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak in opposition to this zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
See no more hands raised.
All right. Anyone else in opposition? Okay, the public hearing is now closed. We had the question about, again, I think, Pam, you got those, the questions on who got the notices?
So we have confirmed he was, the notice was sent to the address that's on their tax information for that parcel.
Okay,
So-
so it may not have been sent directly to his address. It was the.
It's an Angier address.
Oh, it's an Angier address for that. So it may be who's ever managing the tax payments and that sort of thing. So whoever that is needed to probably inform the person actually living there. And we don't really necessarily, our process, just to clarify, our process is to, wherever we send the tax bills to, that's where the notices go to. So if
Because that's
somebody,
the ownership of the parcel.
it's ownership. So if that's somebody that's not living, somebody living there doesn't necessarily get the, and that actually affects people like renters and that sort of thing. They don't get to be part of that process
Unless the landowner informs them.
unless the landowner informs them and lets them know. So, okay. And then, yeah, so that was all. Any other questions, or if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve if there's no concerns or questions that we want to cover.
I'll move we approve the RAZ 2020/18 is presented.
Okay, got a motion and a second for approval. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to item 4C, zoning map amendment, Malden Watkins Surveying, PA, 710 South Main Street, pin 0656942505, RAZ 2020-19. Purpose of this agenda item is to consider a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 0.78 acres located at 710 South Main Street from office and institutional O&I zoning district to town center residential TCR zoning district. Further information will be provided by staff.
Thank you. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The subject property totals 0.78 acres and is located in the town's corporate limits. The property is currently used as a single-family residence. However, the zoning on the property, office and institutional, renders single-family residential as a non-conforming use as defined by the town's land development ordinance. The requested zoning is in an effort to bring the zoning into compliance with the existing residential use. The zoning map amendment petition requests approval of the town center residential zoning district. A residential density of 10 units per acre is permitted within the TCR zoning district, which is intended to provide for residential development of varying types to support the downtown centered districts and is applicable only within the Judd Parkway Loop. The TCR zoning district requires submittal of a master plan. However, proposed developments totaling 4 lots or fewer are permitted to submit a plot plan in lieu of the required master plan. This zoning map amendment requests 1 lot, and as such, a plot plan has been submitted. Surrounding property is primarily residential of a variety of densities making up the neighborhoods that begin the transition to downtown. The 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan calls for the town center residential classification as the subject property. The Land Use Plan's recommendation, LU4, encourage infill development and redevelopment inside town limits, incentivizes infill development and redevelopment projects inside town limits as a way to reinvest in the existing downtowns and neighborhoods. The requested zoning district is consistent with the 2035 Land Use Plan classification. Public and water and sewer utilities currently serve the subject property. The subject property is located on and has access to South Main Street and Hillcrest Drive. South Main Street is classified as a 60-foot right-of-way by the town's 2035 Community Transportation Plan. This street is identified as a two-lane road with sidewalks with a carrying capacity of 10,000 average daily trips. It is currently a two-lane road with sidewalks and a carrying capacity of 10,000 average daily, it is average daily trips. That is right, same number.
Yeah.
2017 NCDOT traffic counts just north of the property indicate a volume of 8,600 average daily trips. Hillcrest Drive is classified as a local street in the town CTP. NCDOT traffic counts for Hillcrest Drive are not available at this time. A neighborhood meeting was held by the petitioner on December 28, 2020 at 139 North Main Street, and the meeting report is attached. Staff takes no position as to its content. Staff recommends approval of the proposed zoning map amendment as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the following reasons. 1, the requested zoning map amendment is consistent with the 2035 Community Vision Land Use Plan for the designation of town center residential and would allow for the existing residential use to continue without furthering the nonconformity. 2, the requesting zoning district supports infill development and reinvestment in downtown neighborhoods per the 2035 Land Use Plan's recommendation, LU4, encourage infill development and redevelopment inside town limits. And 3, the requested zoning district is complementary to residential and institutional uses in the general vicinity. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak in favor of this zoning plan map amendment and land use plan amendment, or just zoning map amendment?
Yes.
And
we
your land use
have one hand raised, a phone number ending in 6587. Please unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes, we can.
This,
Yes.
yeah, I'm Watkins with Malden, Watkins Surveying at 139 North Main Street here in Fuquay-Varina. And I am in favor of this rezoning you have before you tonight. I want to thank Pam. She did an excellent job of explaining what's going on. Basically, for those that have been here a while, this is Dr. Satterfield's old house from years ago, and it's always been residential. I'm not exactly sure how the O&I zoning got on there, but we're just trying to rezone it to a conforming use now, so that something can be done to the house, because it's always been a residential house, and if she wants to do something or add on or a garage, at the present time, that's not going to be allowed. We do have water and sewer and all available. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Does anybody else wish to speak in favor of this zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
I don't have any more hands raised.
More hands raised. Anyone wish to speak in opposition to this zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment? Anyone in opposition?
I see no hands raised.
All right, the public hearing is now closed. I would look to the
I'll make a motion.
board for a motion, yeah?
I'll make a motion. We recommend, or I'll make a motion to approve REZ 2020-19 as zoning map amendment as presented by staff.
Motion and a second, a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, and we'll go on. So that's the end of the public hearings. Let's go on to other business. Item 5A, election of a planning board vice chair. We actually have kind of gone without an official one. He's filled in on occasion.
Yeah, I think I was elected by.
Were you actually elected?
I actually was.
Okay, well, good deal.
Truly, I was.
think it
Ed.
but it was in the middle. It was in the middle of last. It was like,
You got a lot of credit, Andy.
Yeah.
It was when
yeah, because we had the.
when Larry Smith moved up to town board.
That's right. Okay, so
That's right.
so yeah.
That was my first meeting, so it's been 2 years.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna
there
say,
you-
that wasn't last year. Every year we elect a vice chair.
Yeah, every year we usually do. So okay, so this year we also are doing it.
Would you be
I will
willing to
open-
do it again?
I would
Yeah, that's fine. I would do it again.
I would be open to nominations.
I'll nominate Andy if he's willing to do it again for another year.
I
I'm willing to
second.
do it.
All right. Got any other nominations? Okay, I'm going to close nominations and say that we vote him in by acclamation. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Next item is discussion of the 2021 Planning Board Workshop. And I assume that you have the purpose of this agenda item is to discuss potential dates and times for the Planning Board Workshop. Then you had February 22nd down?
We do have February 22nd down, if that works for
6
everybody.
Does that work for everybody? And I actually have a request that we make that a virtual meeting. If it's a training session, I see no reason for
That's
us.
totally
to-
fine. We just did that yesterday with the Board of Adjustment training, and it worked really well.
Okay, yeah, so that would be my own, I'd like to make it virtual. And the date's fine for me, if it's fine for everybody else.
2-hour presentation.
It's 2 hours.
It doesn't have to be 2 hours, but we wanted to leave enough time. We're thinking of doing it before this planning board meeting in February, but in case we needed more time, so maximum 2 hours. I mean, we'll start at 6 and when we finish, we're done, but
I will say it's also our opportunity to, if there are specific things we want to bring up. So it's not just for training, not for us to consume, but it's also, we normally don't get a chance as a full board to actually have discussions about things, maybe concerns we have or things we'd like to see improved or questions we have of each other. So I think that'd be an opportunity to just have a little bit of a discussion period in there as well. So not that it'll take 2 hours, hopefully, but,
We
but
can spend
still.
2 hours on apartments.
Maybe 6:15 for me, but.
Yeah.
works otherwise.
That's fine. So,
at least you won't be locked out of this one.
Nah.
all right. So I don't think it looks like we have consensus on the date and the mode. So
Is this something new? It says yearly, but I don't remember us ever doing this.
So it's on the books we're supposed to do
Oh, okay.
yearly, but it's not
It's like-
something that really.
it did not happen last year. And that was.
I don't think it happened the year before either.
Yeah, probably didn't.
I don't think it did.
Yes.
I don't think it's happened since I've been here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Before I
Okay.
got
Yeah.
on the
it's-
We're trying to get,
Yeah. Thank you
I
for
I think it's a good,
doing
don't get me
that.
wrong. I think it's a good thing. I just,
But there's another planning board item that we've also not done for a while, and that's a combined meeting with the Board of Commissioners. It's an opportunity for us, and it's actually in the bylaws for us to try to do that annually. And that's a way for the planning board and for the Board of Commissioners to kind of communicate with, what expectations are from the Board of Commissioners, as well as us maybe, expressing concerns about anything we see coming back to the planning board, which is one of the reasons, I've asked for the staff reports. We get the staff reports all the time so that we know what the board is actually doing with what we're doing, we're giving them. But it's a good way to, and that hasn't happened in a while either.
I will look into that as well.
So, yeah, we can put a request into the mayor to maybe set that up, obviously sometime later, and it probably obviously clearly virtual because this is already maximum capacity here. So, okay, so that was that item.
You'll send us a calendar for that
Yes, we will.
invite. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll think well of it. Yeah, thank you. Item 5C is introduction of new staff. Obviously, virtual introduction.
Yes.
That's
Eva,
got
there's
spotlight.
cameras on. Eva Mayfield joined the town's planning department on January 4th as a program support specialist, replacing Natalie. In addition to her primary role in supporting the planning department, she will be serving as clerk to the planning board and board of adjustment both. So we are thrilled to have her on our team.
Okay, welcome. Thank you.
Right. Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure meeting everybody. And I look forward to attending more meetings in the future with everyone.
It's a good time.
Thank you. Okay, on to planning staff reports. That's for information, received as information. Any questions on that or concerns? I didn't actually get a chance to review that. I usually try to do that before. I left it at the bottom and didn't get through it. So if I have any questions, I'll get back.
That's fine.
All right. There are no questions for staff. Any other business to bring up? And if not, I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.